Thank you, Corla. Minister, there are two family resource centres in Carrick-on-Shannon and Mohill in South Leitrim, and I've been to both, and I've been very impressed by the caring and inclusive way they're responding to the needs of families in their communities. However, Minister, in the entire north of County Leitrim, a distance of 62 kilometres from Drumshanbo to Tullahan, families have no access to the supports and resources provided by family life centres. They're badly needed, Minister, and I'm asking that funding would be ring-fenced for such a centre in Manorhamilton.
Thank you very much, Deputy. TUSLA administers the Family Resource Centre programme, which provides funding support to 121 centres across the country. My department allocates core funding for the FRC programme since 2019, and we've provided an additional 1.5 million to this important service. So funding for 2021 amounted to €18 million. My department also secured funding for TUSLA to support existing family resource centres, primarily with expenses relating to equipment and premises through the Dormant Accounts Fund for 2020 and 21, and TUSLA is currently arranging to pay over $650,000 to relevant centres from 2021 Dormant Accounts funding. TUSLA provided once-off additional supports during 2021 to many of its community and voluntary sector bodies, including family resource centres, to assist them in responding to COVID challenges. As you mentioned, TUSLA works with community-based family support centres and organisations and the two existing family resource centres in Carrick and in Mohill to meet the needs of vulnerable children, families and the communities. My department of TUSLA have formed a family support subgroup to better understand demand in this sector, to understand demand for family resource centres, and the output from this group is intended to be integrated to be an integrated model of family support that expounds the national service delivery framework and provides clarity to policymakers, practitioners and service users across the continuum of need. And in carrying out this work, it will look at existing provision of family support and resource allocation to family support. In Budget 2022, TUSLA's been allocated 899 million, that's an increase of 41 million, and the specific amount to be used in 2022 for the various services, including family resource centres, hasn't been finalised yet. It will be addressed in the agency's business plan, and that will be submitted to my department in the coming weeks, and I've issued my performance statement to TUSLA outlining the overall performance parameters for TUSLA, and TUSLA will prepare its annual business plan for 2022 in response to that, and obviously within that it will outline its provision of support for family resource centres.
Thank you, Minister. You said that your budget is not finalised yet. Now, you and I know that one of the most important aspects of family resource centres is that they are rooted in their communities, they involve community participation, and they respond to the specific needs of families, especially in disadvantaged areas across the country. Now, while the two centres in South Leitrim do really good work, they're too far away, and their focus is rightly on their communities. There are 4 electoral areas in County Sligo. Each one of them has a family resource centre. There are 3 in County Leitrim, but 3 electoral areas, but only 2 of them have a family resource centre. So, Minister, in the north of County Leitrim, in North Leitrim, I said 62 kilometres from Drumshanbo to Tullahan, there is no family resource centre. So it's needed on the basis of geography, it's needed on the basis of responding to the needs of families and supporting families so that they can access these services.
Thanks very much, Deputy. No, I absolutely agree with you in terms of the importance of family resource centres and how they respond to the particular needs. And I visited a number, even in my own constituency, and they're quite different in terms of what they address because they respond to their immediate community need. I think the piece of work that's being done by TUSLA at the moment in terms of that family support subgroup between my department and TUSLA in looking at the overall supports that are provided to family across the country, because often TUSLA provides family supports in an area without there necessarily being a family resource centre there. So I think that full understanding of the range of services that are available, the range of supports that can be put in place, and ensuring that those geographical gaps that you're describing there in North Leitrim, and look, I see them in my own constituency as well, to ensure that those geographical gaps in terms of services provided can be addressed and can be filled.
Thank you, Minister, and you've given me a very general answer, a positive one, but a very general answer. You say that sometimes TUSLA supports, provides supports without family support centres, but you and I know that a family support centre provides holistic resources and supports to families within a geographic area, and that's hugely important. And sometimes, Minister, disadvantage can be harder to see in rural areas. It's more dispersed, and because of that, it's less visible. But we still have many families on low incomes, an ageing population, small farm holdings, and we have the same pattern of alcohol and drug misuse, abuse and addiction as everywhere else in the country. So that part of County Leitrim, and it's a very significant part, the families there need those services. So I would ask that you would, in your capacity as Minister, work with TUSLA to ensure that families in that area can get the kind of services that are available all around them in other counties.
Minister, to conclude.
You're right, Deputy. It is a general answer. As you know, the determination on the allocation of family resource centres is a matter for TUSLA, and I think it is important in my role as Minister to give the agency the discretion in that. I absolutely understand what you're saying, that that disadvantage is present in all communities across the country, urban and rural, and I come from a very urban constituency, and I know the needs in a rural constituency are different, but it doesn't mean that they can't become as extreme. As I say, the work that's been undertaken at the moment to get that wider understanding of what are the family support services available across the country and how can they be deployed more effectively to support need, be it in an urban or rural setting, I think that's really important. But I also think it is really important that the rural element of that does shine through. So, Deputy, could I ask that you might write to me on this particular issue, and I'll convey that issue to TUSLA so we can advance the provision of these supports.